Hey, everybody, welcome back. And today I'd like to discuss a news story. It was a couple of weeks ago, I saw an interview with Alex Honnold, the man who is the primary subject of the film Free Solo. And Alex Honnold is an athlete like no other I've ever seen. He's the only human being to have ever free soloed. In other words, he climbed with no rope, no harness, El Capitan in Yellowstone, the third highest mountain in the world. I just don't even know. It's almost 6,000 feet high. That is insane. And I don't know what would make you want to free solo that. That's so dangerous. And I don't even know what to do about that. But the documentary has soared. It was a National Geographic documentary. It's become the #1 most watched documentary of all time. And he himself actually won, I believe it was either an Oscar or an Academy Award for just a documentary. You know, he wasn't really much of an actor. And I saw an interview with him. I saw many clips from the movie, and I'd like to give my thoughts on this because I find, first off, I just want to say the athletic prowess required to do that is, I don't even have words for that. There are very few people in the world who could have ever done that. And I have a lot of admiration and respect for the kind of work it took. He discussed the work it took. He said, yeah, it took me 10 solid years of training to do this. I mean, just think about that, to spend a decade of your life to just train for that one mountain. And the amount of training he put was really amazing. He didn't just go up and climb the mountain because that is incredibly dangerous. Every single day, he would just train. So he would climb a tiny part of El Capitan, and then he'd get back down, and he would do it again mentally. He would just sit down, shut his eyes, and try to remember every single crevice in that mountain. By the way, he wouldn't free solo it. He would use harnesses for that. But he would try to remember every crevice, every single rock. Before he went to bed, he said he would journal what he did that day. He would just close his eyes in relief. I put my right hand up here. I lift myself up. My left leg goes here. I mean, it's insanely precise. You know, most of us, when we journal, we write about the kind of day we had and, you know, how great, you know, Ling's Chinese hut was. But that's what he's journaling about. It's amazing and in many ways inspiring, but there's also another layer to this I find very interesting. Alex Honnold, although he was able to do what no one has ever managed to do, he has no real life, I guess I'd say. And this is where I delve from the news story into my personal thoughts. After they discussed, you know, the amazing thing that Alex Honnold did, they also showed clips like he was given a questionnaire, asked what he thought about, you know, climbing and his passions in life. And then he came to the very end question, which was, are you happy with your life? And he kind of like paused in the movie. And he's like, am I happy with my life? I don't understand. What does that mean? What does it mean to be happy with your life? And they asked him, what do you think the purpose of life is? And he said, achievement. He said, that's what it's all about for me. He said, there is no such thing as happiness. I don't believe in it. Nobody can be happy. He said, to me, it's all about achievement. He says, we're here to do great things. He said, like climbing El Capitan. He said, if there is no challenge for me to overcome, I'm dead. I'm depressed. There is no life for me. And I don't fully agree with that. Or actually, I'm just going to say I don't agree with it at all. And it's very interesting. In the news story, they put a clip in where he's arguing with his fiance, and she says, the purpose of life is to be happy, isn't it? I mean, I want to be happy with you. I mean, this is what we're here for. And he says, no, we're here to do things like this. Otherwise, you might as well be dead. I don't agree with that. I actually agree with this fiance in the documentary. We really should be happy. And I think it's very sad that Mr. Honnold feels that way. Throughout the news interview, they also showed clips where he saw friends that had died free soloing much smaller mountains, and he just kind of shrugged and said, yeah, you know, it could happen. I mean, that's just part of it. And I truly feel sorry for him in a sense. Although he's much more athletic, he's far stronger than I am, for sure. I don't think I could climb a 100-foot mountain free solo. I don't think I could do that. But I do think I have this one thing up on Alex Honnold is I believe the purpose of life really is to be happy, to be at peace, and to be happy with the ones you love, you know? To me, that's what life is really about. To say that life is all about achievement, you know, I can't agree with that. And in the interview, he related, he said, look, he said, I achieved this. He said, and I just inspired a whole new generation of kids to go out and do something like this. Isn't that incredible? Well, yeah, kind of. And there's something to be said for that. I mean, it is great to look at people who can do things like that and be inspired and go out and do great things in our own lives. But to say that that's the purpose of life isn't something I can really agree with. You know, I think that's a very dismal way to live because let's face it, Mr. Honnold, I believe, is in his mid-30s. Well, what happens when he's in his mid-40s or 50s and his body can't do what it used to do? Now, he'll be much stronger than maybe the average 40 or 50-year-old, but he still can't do that. He'll never climb El Capitan again, and he probably won't be able to climb much longer. So what does life look like for him, you know? What does it look like when you're 60, 70, 80? What do you have at that point? Do you simply just sit down and say, my life is over? Or do you enjoy it? You know, I hope that when I get older, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about this, but I hope that when I get that age, you know, I'm at peace and I'm enjoying a just beautiful relationships in my life with my family, the people I love. I hope that's what I'm doing. You know, climbing El Capitan, that's pretty neat, I have to say, and I admire the athleticism, but to say that's the purpose of life isn't something I can really agree with. So respect to Alex Honnold for that, but sir, I don't know. That seems like a very depressing outlook on life. So if so thank you for watching. That's just kind of my thoughts on the documentary Free Solo and Mr. Alex Honnold, one of the greatest athletes alive, to be sure. And drop a comment below. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe.